Hey, this is Kevin, and this time I'm going to show my American Civil War armies, starting with the Union. These were the first armies that I ever built, and I just rebased them and touched them up a little bit, but it was kind of my first love. When I was probably about 8 years old, my dad brought me home a book on the Civil War with maps, with little miniatures, and I was hooked. I just absolutely loved it. And I enjoy gaming in the American Civil War time period. So I've used different kinds of rules. I've used Fire and Fury, which I loved. Love Black Powder. I love Pickett's Charge. They're all just wonderful rule sets. And I've built this army to be able to use any rule set that I choose to use to recreate a particular engagement. So I wanted to show you my collection. It's a pretty good size. I'll try to get the Confederates up sometime tomorrow. But it's not too hard to paint these guys. But I mean, if you put in some detail with the flags and their various things that they had around their body, and you give it a nice highlights, it can be a wonderful army to paint. And wow, I just really enjoyed it. So there's probably about 5,000 to 6,000 figures here, maybe a little bit more. And yeah, well, let's take a look at it, and I hope you enjoy it. Oh, I did want to mention for you enthusiasts and you grognards, there are no corps and divisional marking flags. I left those off purposely because I like to do lots of different battles, and that would just be a pain which ones to actually put in there. I was thinking about doing it, but I didn't, and they are missing. So I just used the Union Jack, and that's what I've used, and maybe I'll come back later and do those. Well, now I'm back to showing you my ACW collection. So this is a fairly large one. It's 15 millimeter, and it's mostly Blue Moon and Old Glory, which I think have really nice figures, and they blend extremely well together. And it is a massive army. And yeah, I don't even know where to begin, but I guess we could start down here. I have basically mounted them on 40 by 40 stands. So these are 8 figures to 10 figures per stand, and they are on 40 by 40s, and they can be mixed and matched. So that's kind of how I did that, so that one could make just about any battle that you want. I mean, each unit is unique. So down here we've got mostly your specialty units. So these are Zouaves and Marines and large Irish Brigade and the Iron Brigade and Zouaves and all kinds of different Zouave regiments. I think I've got about 8, 10, 12 of them depicted. I just think they're kind of fun. I've got Berdan sharpshooters depicted in the center in skirmish type formation. And each one of these blocks could be a brigade, they could be a division, they could be companies as a part of a larger regiment. So I built it so that we could play with just about any scenario possible. And I've got both east and west, so different mix of kepis, and over on the other side, the black slouch hats. But they're really, really beautiful. I've really enjoyed the collection. The artillery is with their limbers on the back row. Basically, if you organized it according to various rule set like Black Powder, or if you did Fire and Fury, which you could do as well. They're just a little bit larger stands. There's probably about 7 Union Corps here. The flags are predominantly done by the flag dude. Then I've made a couple of them myself, but I think that you know, I keep more of a simplistic basing style, you know, grass and earth. I don't use a lot of tufts, just some on more of the officer stands. But yeah, this can be done on you can pretty much do just about any battle from Chickamauga to Gettysburg, and really fill up a 9-foot, 12-foot table in actuality. But it's I mean, the figures are you know, they're I'll take some pictures, but you know, they're done in the classic style. I spent a lot of time working on just different details. These here are more of the slouch hat, but they all have 3 layers of painting, and yeah, I think they turned out pretty decent. But it is a massive collection. It's about I think I counted somewhere close to about 5,000 figures, something like that. I probably should go back and recount that, but I think that's about right. And there's a very large cavalry corps, which I use for the Indian Wars as well as for the American Civil War. And I liked mounting the dismounted more in a skirmish with their horse holders, and I think they turned out looking pretty well. The Blue Moon cavalry is a little bit larger in size, not much, but just a little bit. So I kind of put them in their own units. The dismounted turned out very nice. They're mixing pretty well with Old Glory. Those are already mixed. These are the Old Glory figures, so I think that they turned out pretty well. They've got you know, yellow stripes down their pants, and they look very Union cavalry-ish. Yeah. Most of my command stands are done with Blue Moon. Some are Old Glory, but I think that in general they turned out pretty well. I kind of like putting little dioramas together. I've got probably more command stands than I actually need, to be honest. But I just had the figures and thought, all right, well, we'll do a Grant, we'll do a Sherman, we'll do a Meade, different personalities as they see fit. So getting down into the individual regiments, I don't remember, and I probably should go back and mark which ones are which, but I don't remember. So people ask me, was that the 11th Indiana, or is that the 10th, or what is that? I have no idea. But I think that in general the figures turned out pretty well. The Iron Brigade looks pretty nice as well. Of course, that's just general, you know, floppy hats. The Irish Brigade turned out looking pretty nice. Their flags turned out extremely nice, and yeah, I think that yeah, I think I've got the Pennsylvania bucktails, and I've got all kinds of just different ones. Camera's having a bit of issues here focusing, but I think, yeah, I hope you like them. So there's quite a few figures per stand. I would say maybe 8 to 9. I try to do 32 man figure units, and I think that it kind of gives a nice scale. You know, I know a lot of people now, they're going to Warlord Epic scale, and I have to say I think they're nice, but I still like my 15s. I like being able to put them into poses and make dioramas versus this stiff line of which I don't believe they fought that closely, overlapping shoulders. I just don't think that they did. So I think that they were close, but not that close. And a lot of people like them, but I still like being able to put together my own diorama, and it's having a hard time focusing here, but I like just putting together units that I think look good together and kind of mix them around. Yeah. The artillery is you know, I just put the guns on the stands. I don't glue them down, so I can mix and match. But those are predominantly Essex guns, and or not Essex, I mean Old Glory. And there's all kinds. There's about 4 different kinds of pieces there. Anyway, it's a pretty good sized collection, and I'm hoping that you enjoy it. So I don't know, somebody asked me how many different regiments that I have, or groups. So I think, you know, each one of those lines is 6, so 6, 12, 18, 24, 32, 38, yeah, 68 regiments, looks like, in general. So I think that's not bad. John and I just did Battle of Atlanta, and that table was full, and I only used half of the collection. So anyway, let me know your comments and what you think. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll throw a couple of extra photos here. Just people like to see them. Now, I have to admit, I am not a great camera guy. I don't take the best pictures. That's probably something that I should learn how to do, but I think most people get a general idea of what a collection looks like and how it's built, and that's basically what I wanted to do, was more showcase my work. And yeah, leave some comments, and let me know how you think I could do this better.